Alright guys, in this part I'm going to go over number 5 and so on. So, which equation represents the line that goes through the points 5, -2 and by -5, 3? Okay, so remember, to find, let me delete all this. To write the equation of a line using Desmos, remember, you want to start by adding an item, and we're going to add a table. And so I want my 2 points. Remember, the ones that are in parentheses, you want to keep them next to each other. So I have 5, and that's next to -2. And then I have -5 and 3. Okay, so those are my 2 points. And then it's going to be y1. And you got to go to the ABCs to get this tilde approximately. M x1 plus b. Okay, so they tell me my slope is -1/2 and my y-intercept is 1/2. So y is equals to -1/2 x plus 1/2. However, if you look at your answer choices, they're not like that. So this is kind of in point slope form. So what they did was they found the slope and they put it into the y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. Right? So a good thing to do is, for sure I know my slope is -1/2, so this should be -1/2, right? I have my y and my x. And then you can choose one of these 2 points. Okay? So if I have y minus, let's say I want to use this one. So this is x and y. So y is -2 and x is -5. So this changes to a positive, so I would have y plus 2 equals -1/2 x minus 5. So x minus 5, but this has 3, this one's 2, so that is incorrect. -5. So what they did is here, if you see, I have y plus 2, and over here I have y equals. So what they did was they subtracted 2 from both sides, and then they were left with y equals -1/2 x minus 5 minus 2, which would be C. Now, that was a little tricky, right? So what you could do is, if you open up Desmos, so they have the red line, right? This is the line of that, the approximation. What you could do is you can graph all of these answer choices. Okay, so like I have y equals, the good thing is that they're all -1/2, so for sure I'm going to have -1 divided by 2, and then I have parentheses x, and let me start with a, so I have -5 close parentheses -3. Well, if you see, these are 2 different lines, right? So A is incorrect. So I'm going to do B. So this should be +5, and this should be +2. Again, 2 different lines, right? So I got to check C. So this should be -5, and that should be -2. And if you notice, the red line disappeared because they are the same line. Okay, so red and blue. Oh, I just deleted it. Let me write it back. Y equals negative 1 divided by 2 x minus 5 minus 2. Okay, so they're the exact same line. Alright, so there's the red and there's the black. They're the exact same line. And if you want to check that last one, you can. So if I do minus 5 and this should be plus 3. Okay, two completely different lines. Alright, so you want that line to match, right? Because they should be the same line. This line and this one should be the same thing. If I distribute this and combine my like terms, it'll be the same. The correct answer is C. So if anything on your test, put this into the table, do the approximation. So that's this part right here. And then just graph all your answer choices and see which one matches. Alright, so let's look at number 6. What is the equation of slope-intercept form of the line that passes through the points -6, 52 and 4, -23? So if you already have this, you can just leave this here. Great, and I just deleted it. So x1 should be -6, and then this one is going to be 52. Oh, well, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, let's try that again. -6 and 52. And this one is going to be 4 and -23. 4 and -23. 4 and -23. Okay, so same thing. You're going to do y1, go to the ABCs, is approximately mx1 plus b. Okay, so then they give you m equals -7.5 and b equals 7. Alright, let's see. So b should be 7, so these two are incorrect. And then I need to just check which one is -7.5. So I'm going to check -15/2, and I believe that one should be it. So -15 divided by 2 is -7.5. So correct answer is A. Again, you can graph this to see if they match. Alright? So let's go to number 7. Which equation in standard form has a graph that passes through the point -3, 5 and has a slope of 7/2? So you have a slope of 7/2, right? And then you have a point x1, y1, right? So the good thing in Desmos is that you can graph it in your point slope form, y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. So if you put that into Desmos, let's move that over here. Let's get rid of this and that. Okay, so I have y minus y1, which is 5, equals m, which is 7 divided by 2, and then parentheses x minus -3 close parentheses. So the good thing is you can put double negative. If you forget that changes to a positive, that's fine. Put it like it's supposed to be. Okay, so if you zoom out, that's what the line looks like. And now you can just graph your answer choices, right? Because you want them to be the same line. So I'm going to graph 7x minus 2y equals -21. Okay, I see two different lines, so that's incorrect. Let me do B. 7x minus 2y equals negative 31. Notice it disappeared, right? So blue and green are the same line. So let me check another one just in case. The other one's 7x minus 2y equals negative 41. That's a different line, so that's incorrect. And I'm going to check D. 7x minus 2y equals negative 5. Different line. So my correct answer is B. B is the correct answer. Okay, so the graph of f is shown below. Which equation describes a line parallel to line f that has a y-intercept of 0, negative 5? Okay, so they give me this equation, right? And my line is parallel to this one, except mine has a y-intercept of negative 5. So remember, parallel, same slope. Okay, parallel is the same slope. Alright, so I need to figure out what the slope is. So I want to get from this point to this point. So I would go down 1, 2, 3. So that's negative 3. And then I would go over 1, 2, 3, 4. So negative 3 over, not 3, that should be 4. What am I thinking? Negative 3 over 4. So already that's my slope, and then they tell me the y-intercept is negative 5. If you remember, b is your y-intercept, and so that is negative 5. So if you plug it into y equals mx plus b, your equation would look like this. Y equals negative 3 over 4 x minus 5. And that one, that's not right, that's not right, that's not right. C would be the correct answer. Alright, let's look at number 9. What is the equation of the line that contains 0, 3 and is perpendicular to the line graphed below? Okay, so remember, perpendicular, when you see that, you're supposed to do the MOR. Okay, so our line is perpendicular to this one, so I need to figure out what this slope is, that way I can do the opposite reciprocal. Okay, so I'm going to choose 2 points, and I'm going to choose this one and this one. So I'm going to have to go down 2, so it's negative 2, and then over 1. So negative 2 over 1. So what is the opposite of negative 2 over 1? Well, that's just positive 2 over 1. And the reciprocal would be 1 over 2. So my new slope is 1/2. Okay? So remember, if it's y equals mx plus b, and they tell me contains 0, 3, well, when x is 0, that means that whatever this number is, that's my y-intercept. So b is 3. And if you notice, they all have 3. Right? So what they're really looking for is your slope. They want to see if you can find the opposite reciprocal slope. And so we're looking for 1/2. This is negative 2. That's incorrect. Negative 1/2, incorrect. Y equals 2x. That is incorrect. So D would be the correct answer. Alright. So let's go back up to the top. So what is the equation of the line that passes through the point negative 8, 6 and has a slope of 0? Okay. So they give me a slope, which m equals 0, and the point x1, y1. So remember, whenever you have a slope of 0, this is our special case, y equals y1. Okay, so that means y1 is 6, so the equation would be y equals 6. Okay, so if you forget that, you can plug it into your point slope form. So that'd be the y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. Right? So y1 is 6, so that'd be y minus 6 equals m is 0 times x minus negative 8. So that's already positive. Well, over here I have 0 times x plus 8. So if I distribute the 0, or anything multiplied by 0 is just 0. So in reality, this becomes y minus 6 equals 0. Alright, 5 times 0 is 0, 3 times 0 is 0, x times 0 is 0. So no matter what's being multiplied by 0, it is 0. Okay, so then I'm just going to add 6 to both sides. So y is equal to 6. So that is if you forget this part right here. So the correct answer is B. Alright, and remember, if m is undefined, so let's put that up here just to remind yourself. If m is undefined for 1 over 0, then it's x equals x1. Okay, so that's a good thing to memorize. Alright, let's look at number 11. Which of the following pairs of points define a line segment parallel to the x-axis? Okay, so let's open up Desmos. I want to graph those points. Where isn't it? There we go. Let me exit this. Alright, so I have the points. Oh man. Perfect. I have 9, 4, and comma negative 9, 4. Right? So parallel to the x-axis. So this is the x-axis. This looks parallel, right? So if imagine if you would connect a line here, it would be a horizontal line, right? It would be parallel to the x-axis. So that one's good. If I would do 9, 4, 9, negative 4. Okay, if you notice, this line would be up and down, and that's parallel to the y-axis. So that one's incorrect. Let's do 3. So I have negative 9, negative 4, 9, negative 4. Zoom out again. If I draw a line here, it's going to be horizontal and it's going to be parallel to this x-axis. So that one's good. And I need to check the fourth one. 4, 9, negative 4, negative 9. And that one's not even, like if I turn these off, that's a diagonal line, so that's not even parallel to the x or y axis. So that one's wrong. If I turn these back on, so that is 1 and 3. So D would be my correct answer. Alright, we got 2 more. What is the slope of the line represented by 5x minus 11y equals 33? Alright, so remember, there's a good way to do this is to graph it. So 5x minus 11y equals 33. So 5x minus 11y minus 11y equals 33. Okay, so if you zoom in, you can choose, I'm going to zoom out a little. You can choose 2 points to find the slope, the rise over run. So I'm going to have to keep zooming out a little bit. Here, let me close this. Okay, here we go. So I see this one right here, and then right here. Okay, so right here and right here. So I'm gonna have to go from -3 to 2. So I'm gonna go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the rise is 5. Then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 5 over 11, and it's a positive. So it's for sure, you see that it's a positive slope, right? Because it's increasing, it's going up. The line is going up, so A and D can already eliminate, and so 5 over 11 is the correct answer. So that's how I would do it. What you're really supposed to do is solve for y equals 33. You would subtract 5x from both sides, so you end up with -11y equals -5x plus 33. And then you want to divide by -11 on both terms. So you end up with y equals -5 divided by -11. They're both negative, so it's positive 5 over 11 x, and then 33 divided by -11 is just -3. Okay, so whichever way you prefer. You can solve it or you can graph it. I would rather you graph it. Okay, and then the last one, what is the slope of the line that passes through the points 20, 17 and -25, 22? So let's open up Desmos. Let me exit this. So remember, you're going to add a table, add item, you're going to add a table. And so it's 20, 17, and then -25 and 22. And so remember, it's y1 is approximately mx1 plus b. Y is approximately mx1 plus b. So my slope is -0.1 repeating. So I need to figure out which one that is compared to my answer choices. So I have -0.1 repeating, so it has to be negative, so B and D are wrong. This is -9, so that's also incorrect. So let me just make sure -1 divided by 9 is it, and that is it, because if you see -0.1 repeating, and that matches that. So C is your correct answer. Alright, good luck on the test tomorrow.